Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are delegates from first group 11 Science 1 will present the result of our scientific work entitled The Effect of Giving Kitosan as a Mixture of Animal Feed on Body Weight of Gurami. I'm Danendra Asyam Rahmada, and this is my partner.
My name is Gavin Agzutandra Livio.
We'll start our presentation. Our country, Indonesia, is a country with enormous fisheries potential because as a maritime country, most of Indonesia's territory is water. One of the fish potential is gurami, because gurami is in high demand in the market. However, unfortunately, the production produced by the fish farmer are not comparable to market demand itself, as evidenced by the production data of the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Affairs for 2019. Gurami cultivation is ranked 11 out of 13 fish cultivation on a national scale. This is because Gurami has a longer harvest period than other freshwater cultivated fish, causing the development of Gurami cultivation to be hampered. Several factors that can cause slow growth of Gurami, according to Nugroho, include poor seed quality, poor quality of feed, and unsupportive environment. Therefore, it is necessary to reduce the production cost of Gurami feed through the combination of feed formulation that are able to produce Gurami growth effectively and efficiently by promoting an economical price. Now, with the increasing price of feed raw materials, a solution is needed to use a combination of alternative feed ingredients in order to improve feed quality and accelerate fish growth, one of which is through the provision of feed supplements in the form of kitosan. Kitosan has also been observed to suppress growth of tilapia in terms of kitosan size and nutrient absorption. With the above problems, as researchers see the advantage of kitosan with its advantage over similar materials in large quantities as an effective and efficient solution for Gurami animal feed formulation. In the study, to determine the effect of kitosan in increasing growth rate of Gurami as measured by increasing body weight of Gurami. With the above problems, the problem can be formulated. How is the effect of giving kitosan as a mixture of animal feed on Gurami body weight? The goal of this research is it is expect to know the effect of giving kitosan as a feed mixture on Gurami weight. The benefit of this research is this study provides information and scientific reference regarding the research on the use of kitosan as a mixture animal feed which affects the body weight of Gurami. Gurami is a type of freshwater fish that has long been recognized and cultivated by the Indonesian people as ornamental and consumption fish and was published on a large scale in 1985. Gurami fish are spread throughout in the Indonesian archipelago and neighboring countries. Kitosan has become a new candidate for growth promoters in livestock. Previous studies have shown that the effect of kitosan administration on broilers and ducks can improve growth performance. The effect of kitosan on growth and hematology in fish has not been massively studied. Previous research, according to Rosie 2018, shows that the effect of kitosan administration on the growth tilapia can increase growth performance. Fish feed management is one of the factors determining the success of fish farming. By supporting the growth and survival of fish, high energy can improve feed conversion and weight gain of grouper fish. According to Mujiman 2004, fish need energy for growth, life activities, and reproduction. Fish use protein as the main energy source. The second energy source used is fat, while carbohydrates are the third source of energy. With the above statements, basic assumptions can be taken. Consumer demand for Gurami is high, but Due to its slow growth, Gurami farmers cannot fully meet market demand. Kitosan affects the body weight of Gurami. The problem, how to use kitosan which affects Gurami body weight. The first theory is according to AAT in 2013, feed with the addition of chitosan can stimulate immune function, improve digestion and absorption of nutrients, and increase protein content in fish so that it can improve growth performance. The second theory, according to Heptarina in 2010, the more protein that can be retained in the body and the less protein is catabolized into energy, the greater of the growth value. The hypothesis is chitosan can affect the Gurami body weight. The research used was through experimental. Experimental research is a research where the researcher intentionally generates an event or situation. In other words, experimental research is a way to find a causal effect between two factors that are deliberately caused by researcher by eliminating or reducing other factors that can be disturbed. Experiments are always carried out with the intention of seeing the result of a treatment carried out by the researchers. The experimental design in the study is the pre-experimental design. The true experimental design from in this study is the pre-test and post-test control group design. A variable is something that becomes the object of the research observation, often referred to as a factor that plays a role in the research or the symptoms to be studied. The variables used in this study are the independent, control, and dependent variables. The independent variable used in the study was the concentration of chitosan. The control variable used in this study were Gurami species, temperature, age, Gurami, and Gurami health. The bone variable used in the study is the weight growth of Gurami. This research was carried out in stage of from the initial phase to the final phase from the 1st of December 2020 until 25th of January 2021. The research sites for testing were in the Science Laboratory of Hikmah High School, Surabaya, Jalan Satya CTN1 number 31, Taman Sidoarjo, and Deltasari BL9, Paru Sidoarjo. The tools used are container box, analytical scale, sitting scale, thermometer, beaker, digital pH meter, spoon, oven, mixer, and magnetic stirrer. The material used for the manufacture of chitosan were obtained from Bandung with Java chitosan distributors. Fish feed ingredients use commercial floating pellet feed BF1000. Other ingredients include 300 milliliter distilled water and acetic acid. Chitosan is dissolved with acetic acid based on the research of Diana Shafni in 2016, which was modified by researchers. Chitosan and animal feed were mixed, extruded, often for 60 minutes at 60 degrees Celsius. The dry feed was air dried at room temperature respectively. Then we each Gurami with a total number of 16 tails divided into 4 groups with an age plus minus 2 months. First week as initial weight, according to research by Rosie in 2018, the method used in the study was an experimental method with the experimental design. Used was a completely randomized design or CRD consisting of 4 treatments and 3 replication. The treatment used are as follows in the Journal of Quality Study of Fresh Gurami by immersion in chitosan solution in 2016. The first treatment without chitosan, the second treatment 1 gram of chitosan in 150 gram of feed. The third treatment is 2 grams of chitosan in 150 gram of feed, and the fourth treatment is 3 grams of kitosan in 150 grams feed. Gurami feed mixed with kitosan is given to Gurami with 4 Gurami in each group in the morning at 9 a.m. and the evening at 4 p.m. with a measure of 5% of the average weight of the first week Gurami. Measurements were carried out for 1 month. The main final weight after 1 month of treatments in each group minus the main initial weight for each group. The data collection technique. The goals of data collection technique is to obtain good and structured and accurate data or information from what is researched so that the accuracy of the data information obtained can be accounted for. The first technique of data collection is the fusion comparative method from literature studies. This method can compare several studies from several sources so as the obtain of validative innovation as a combination of several data analyses. This method is abstraction in nature because it doesn't go through an experimental stage only through studies obtained in literature studies. The second technique of data collection is observation method. The observation method is used support in conducting research. This method is used to observe how the effectiveness of kitosan on the growth of Gurami, which will be applied to samples of Gurami. The data analysis techniques are methods or ways to process data into information so that the characteristic of the data become easier to understand and also useful for finding solution to problems, especially problems in a study. The first technique of data analysis is descriptive statistic, technique of collecting, processing, simplifying, presenting, and analyzing quantitative data descriptively. The form of descriptive statistics is graphs and tables. The normality test of data analysis is carried out to determine the distribution of data from normal research or not. The third technique is homogeneity test, carried out to the test whether the sample data is homogeneous or not taken from the same population. And the last analyzing data is one-way analysis of variance is parametric statistical technique used to test the difference between several groups of means where there is only one independent or independent variable that is divided into several groups and one dependent or dependent variable. After this, the presentation will be continued by my partner, Gavin.
Thank you, my partner, for the comprehensive explanation. As my partner has to introduce my name. Hi, my name is Gavin. Let's discuss about the result of our research and let me also conclude by the end of it, right? So first thing first, notes all of our graph and table in here will be on Bahasa, as actually our research are based on Bahasa, right? But unfortunately in here I'm gonna also explain to you in English to make our audience here, which is native speaker, could compare what we did in our research. So let's jump into it. After the fish feed preparation stage was carried out, the next research stage was to test the effect of the kitosan added to fish feed on Gurami body weight. To determine the effect of kitosan addition, kitosan variation was carried out by 1 gram, 2 grams, and 3 grams in 150 grams. So what my teammate actually explained to you. What we witness here, this table, is the weight of the Gurami before treatment. 2 months Gurami from every group with a total of 16 tails of it, weighed as the initial weight, right? All of our weighing here are on the gram unit, exactly started from 1 December on 2020. So let's start from the treatment one, which is the control group. Fish 1 is weighed as 39 grams. Weight 39 grams. Fish 2 weight as 40 grams. Fish 3 weight as 37 grams, and fish 4 weight as 38 grams, right? By that it means that our team has explained to you the feeding dose is 5% from the average weight, which means it's as the average is 38.5 grams, so the as the 5% is the 1.925 grams, right? So about the treatment two, which is the kitosan, 1 gram of kitosan in that group, right? So the fish one is weighed as 45 grams, fish two is 39 grams, fish three is 43 grams, and fish four is 50 grams, and by the average of it is 44.25 grams, right? By that it means that as the feeding dose is 5% from the average weight, which means its feeding dose is placed at 2.2125 grams, right? As the average is 44.25, right? So the 5% is 2.2125 2 grams, right? So let's talk about the third treatment, which is the 2 grams of kitosan, right? Fish one weigh as 47 grams, fish two 48 grams, fish three 46 grams, and fish four 43 grams, and by the average of 46 grams, exactly 46 grams. By that, it means that as the feeding is 5% from the average weight, which means it's placed on 2.3 grams for each feeding dose, right? On this group of treatment three, right? So lastly, what the treatment four, which is the kitosan with 3 grams of kitosan, right? The fish one weight as 45 grams, fish two 42 grams, fish three 48 grams, fish four 41 grams, and by the average of it is 44 grams, exactly 44 grams. By that, it means that as the feed is 5% from the average weight, which means it plays at 2.2 grams for each feeding dose for this group, right? So next. So this is the table is the next table, right? This table shows the result of weighing gurami in each group, consisting of 4 gurami before and after treatment, with 4 different feed content variations, namely without kitosan, 1 gram, which is actually the control group, second about the 1 gram of kitosan, then 2 grams of kitosan, and 3 grams of kitosan in 150 grams of commercial feed PF at VF1000, right? From this data, it was obtained that the highest increase in average in the fourth treatment group was the 11.75 grams, right? And became the most optimal formulation for Gurami weight gain. However, in the second treatment group, with a dose of 1 gram of kitosan in 150 grams of feed, the average weight loss of Gurami was 3.675 grams. Like the cause of the ineffective 1 gram of kilosan dose in the result of the study isn't yet known clearly and requires further research or repetition for the 1 gram kilosan treatment group. This shows that the increase in the dose of kilosan in the feed, the greater the increase in body weight, with the record that the lowest dose is 1 gram is not included in it. There is so next. So these are the results of weighing grammy before and after treatment with average absolute weights, right? According to research conducted by Rosie in 2018, there's absolute growth, right? Namely, the difference in weight of the fish at a certain time with the weight at the beginning of the rearing period. Effendi in 1997 explains that absolute weight growth can be calculated using the formula WM, which is the absolute weight growth, equals the weight WT, which is the weight of fish at specific time, minus the WO, which is the fish weight at the beginning of maintenance, right? So this is the calculation, and we have provided on table. Next. So this is the diagram of the comparison diagram of fish weight before and after treatment in before, right? Based on this diagram, it's known that the tendency of fish to increase in weight day by day, except for fish treated with 1 gram of kitosan, which actually experience a decrease in weight. Furthermore, the comparison of the increase in fish weight is shown in the second graphic in that, which is the line graphic, right? This because this line graphic is a comparison of fish weight gain in each treatment. This graphic shows a comparison of weight gain, right? From this graphic, it can be seen visually that the tendency of the greater the ketosan is given, the higher the tendency to increase fish weight, right? To find out whether the increase in fish weight in each treatment was significantly different, the test was carried out using one-way ANOVA. In testing with one-way ANOVA, the data used must meet the assumptions, right? First, the data used must be normally distributed in each test group. And the second assumption is that the variance of data between groups must be homogeneous. Therefore, the data normality and the variance homogeneity test, which actually has been explained by my teammate, will carry out first, right? Before we go with this ANOVA, right? Because we want to prove that is it significantly different or not, right? So next. So firstly, on the above table, we could see the data normality test, right? The data normality test was performed using the Shapiro-Wilk test statistic because the data members in each statement group were 4 or less than 30. The testing hypothesis is as follows. Firstly, on HO, which is the data is normally distributed, and then secondly, in the H1, which is the data are not normally distributed, and the alpha is 5%. With the decision, it's gonna reject HO if the significance value is less than 5%. The test results using IBM statistic SPSS version of 23. So and the result of the table is shown at the table on the above, right? This table, the data normality test results using the Shapiro-Wilk test statistics. From the test results, it's known that the significance value in each statement group has a value of more than 5% or 0.005, right? This shows that the data in each group are normally distributed so that the data has met the normal assumption for testing using one-way ANOVA. But it's not enough. Obviously, we need a data homogeneity test too, right? The data homogeneity test was conducted to determine whether the parent of the data in each statement group was the same. The data will be feasible to compare if the variance in each group is the same or homogeneous. If the parent of the data is not homogeneous, then the data are not suitable for comparison. The data homogeneity test in the study used the Levin test statistic with the H, and there's the formula is that there's HO, the data variance of each treatment group is the same. And then secondly, about the H1, which is there is a variance of data in at least one group that is not the same. And then with alpha of 5%, with the decisions, we reject the HO if the significance value is less than 5%, and the test results using IBM statistics SPS version 23, and the result has been shown at the table below. And this the data homogeneity test results using the Levin test statistics, right? From the test result, it's known that the significance value is 0.441 or greater than 5%. This shows that the HO is accepted, which means that the variance of the data in each treatment group is the same, right? So that the data meets the assumption of data homogeneity is a requirement for one-way ANOVA. As we have fulfilled about the two parameters to go with one-way ANOVA, so let's go with one-way ANOVA. Next. One-way ANOVA was used to compare whether the treatment in each study group had the same impact or not. If the research has a mean that is not significantly different, it means that it's stated that the research produces the same impact or means that it has no effect even though the treatment is different. However, if the study has a significantly different mean, it can be stated that different treatments have a significant effect. With the HO, the average increase in fish weight for each group is the same, which is so and the 1, 2, and 3 and 4 is same, and then with the H1 there is an average increase in fish weight for each group that is not the same, and then with alpha of 5%, and with the decision we reject the HO if the significance value is less than 5%, and the decision in here is using IBM statistic SPS as version 23, with the table is shown there, right? With this, a double of one-way ANOVA analysis results, right? Based on the test results, a significance value of 0 was obtained, which means that the HO is rejected, or it means that there's a significant difference in the value of the average increase in fish weight. This means that there's a significant effect on the increase in fish weight by giving kitosan. Furthermore, to determine the best kitosan content according to the last diagram, it's known that the largest increase in fish weight in study is the administration of 3 grams of kitosan, right? So next. By that result and by all the research that we conduct, we could conclude, right? The conclusion is that based on the research that has been done, it can be concluded that giving a significant difference in cortisol has an impact on the increase in the average weight of gurami. We can know that the lowest dose of 1 gram in 150 grams of feed has no impact on the increase in average weight. Based on the result of the ANOVA statistical test, a significant value of 0 was obtained, which means that the HO is rejected or that there is a significant difference in the value of the average increase in fish weight. This means that there's a significant effect on the increase of the fish weight by giving kitosan. The administration of different kitosan has had a significant impact on the increase in the average weight of fish. In this study, the most optimal administration of kitosan at levels of 3 grams was an increase in the gross average weight of 11.75 grams. So by the conclusion, by connecting all the research, we could give a suggestion for further research, right? Firstly, it is necessary to treat the gurami before feeding it with feed containing kitosan to make the gurami more bearable. Secondly, it's necessary to look for other substances that can increase gurami weight apart from kitosan. And lastly, it's necessary to conduct the research longer than our research to make a more accurate research, which actually are already accurate, but to make a better research for in the future. Next. So these are the documentation that we have done, right? The first picture is showing that is a ketosan solvent is 15% of acetic acid, which is diluted later to a concentration of 1%, right? And then the second picture is shown that is the acetic acid is diluted with distilled water to achieve a concentration of 1% to a volume of 100 milliliter. And then the third picture is that each dose of ketosan weight 1 gram, 2 grams, and 3 grams would dissolve in 100 milliliter of 1% acetic acid, then stir using a magnetic stirrer for 15 minutes until completely dissolved. And the picture on the far right one is the commercial field of PF1000, which has been mashed. Its treatment is weighed as 150 grams before being mixed with a dose of kitosan. Next. This is firstly, it is the picture of 3 servings of commercial feed. 150 grams are mixed with each dose of 1 gram, 2 grams, and 3 grams of kitosan, then stir until well blended, right? After stirring the feed mixture evenly for each dose, then the next step is heated in the oven, right? So after that, so we could see the picture in the oven next to it, right? Uh, is the mixture of 1 gram, 2 gram, and 3 gram doses of feed is heated in the oven for 60 minutes at 60 degrees Celsius. And lastly, the picture on the most right one is the entire feed mixture is finished heating in the oven and packed to be given to treatments 2, 3, and 4 of Gurami. So that's all the documentation for to make the kitosan one, right? So this is so wait wait Mas Nendra, please go back, please. So this is the document. So this is the documentation of our initial wake process, right? This is our documentation and the first initial wake process, and has shown if you look at the number, the number is actually the same as with our table, right? So we don't make up the result, the initial wake at the very first place, right? So next. This is the documentation of the result of the Gurami itself, right? You could see it itself that the data is actually accurate with our table is shown as in the picture. It means that our research is actually real, right? And then this is the attachment. This is the formula to how we I've told you before in the documentation, as actually we only have the 15% of the concentration of acetic acid, and we should make it to 1%, right? To make it the same as what our sources from journal, right? So we have found this formula, which is the V1 times the concentration once equals the volume 2 times concentration 2, right? By that, as we only have the 15% of concentration, so we put it on the concentration 1, and what we want to achieve is 1% of 100% of uh, acetic acid, right? From 50% to 1%. So let's put it the 1% on the second concentration, and the V2, and the V2, as is based on journal, we should make it out of 100 milliliter for on the volume, right? So after we calculate, we found that we need a 6.667 milliliter, 15% of acetic acid, right? So 6.667, sorry, 6.667 milliliter, 15% of acetic acid is dissolved 200 milliliter with distilled water, right? So that is the attachment, how to make the form, to make the concentration of acetic acid a little bit lower, right? So next. So these are our bibliography, how our research has been conducted, and these are our sources, how our research has been made by thoroughly and delftly by this far, right? So next. So these are the other bibliography. You could check it if you wish to. So by this, as this is the end of the presentation, thank you for listening to us. Uh, I I hope that this research could be have a benefits for all of you, the audience in here. So that's it. That's enough. Thank you. Let me close this, and I'm very sorry if there are any mistakes from me and my partner. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.